welcome, shalom, Josh, missed you. Mention
Miss
that your
you,
gorgeous
babe.
sweater. If you're not watching on YouTube, what are you, nuts? Like, you're missing out on just such wonderful fashion choices. Josh is wearing just like if Ralph Lauren, formerly Ralph Lifshitz, by the way, if Ralph Lauren could pick just a freaking model for that gorgeous Navajoan slash Ralph Lauren sweater, it would be you. You look gorgeous.
Thanks, babe. I'm wearing what looks like a blanket at a resort in Deer Valley, Utah. I look like I look like I'm modeling for the Albuquerque Tourism Board. But it's a gorgeous tapestry inspired Navajo. My shirt's appropriating, and I'm supporting my appropriation. So cancel me immediately, please.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I looked down and I noticed that I am wearing purple fuzzy socks. And that is just because since we've last recorded, my life has just flipped upside down. I don't know when the last time was that I slept. And I don't even know. I don't remember when I put on these socks. I guess my feet were cold. It is cold. It's snowing. It's snowing out in New York. But for those that don't know, my beautiful dog Theo got diagnosed with a very, very aggressive cancer this past week. And a month ago, he was running up hills. He was perfect. So I don't know if we want to talk about that, but it's more just like more just a general update. A month ago he was perfect, or 5 weeks ago he was perfect. A month ago I started to notice, his back left leg, he wasn't putting a lot of pressure on it. So I brought him into the doctor. They took an X-ray. They said it was arthritis. I said, okay, that makes sense. No problem. It's a little early for arthritis. He's only 6, but that made sense. And then last Sunday, after 3 days of not pooping, I brought him to the emergency room, and they found a 12 centimeter tumor, which if you think about what 12 centimeters is, it's close to 5 inches. And this is a 20-pound King Charles Cavalier. Like, that's huge in comparison. His foot is 1.5 inches wide. It's an enormous tumor, and it was blocking. They found it because they stuck their finger in his ass to try to just like, I don't know, maybe they had a fetish.
A little ass play.
Like
Who doesn't like that?
they wanted to, and their finger was met with a tumor. And they're like, hey, he's not shitting because 80% of his butthole is covered by this tumor. And I'm like, are you, like, what are you, nuts? Okay,
so I'm going to act on behalf of the audience and start asking some questions. First of all, a vet emergency room. Is it like a people emergency room? Is there vending machines? What's the wait time? Is there like a French bulldog dressed in a security guard outfit?
Yeah, yes to everything but the last, and we need that. So the vet care, honestly, is so all over the place. Some of these places are unbelievable, right? Like, when you figure out what you really need, they're great. That said, the day-to-day, how great could it be if they diagnosed my furry son that has a tumor with arthritis? Like, clearly there's something amiss over there. But then we brought him to AMC Animal Medical Center, which is like one of the premier animal hospitals in the city. And they took care of him great for sure. But like, that place was very, very sterile. Like, it's not that hospitals are ever like the most optimistic looking fun places, but like, this place looked very, very sad and felt like we were at the DMV. But afterwards, and this is really what I wanted to talk about, like, the support from the Good Guys community, from the Toast community, like the way that people have reached out and connected us. Like, this is like, I've never felt more connected in my life. Like, we joke about like, oh, you have a guy. We have like millions of guys that all have guys, and like, we somehow got connected to the head of oncology for AMC, and because a toaster's sister runs oncology for AMC. And then from there, we were connected to the #1 radiologist, this Dr. Carrie Rosen in Yonkers, and that's where Theo's getting radiation. And then,
I love that even as vets, Jews dominate. It's like,
dominate.
We're good with people. We're good with animals. What do you got?
And like, for whatever reason, people hate us. Like, we're taking care of the animals. We're giving pets radiation. Like
A
what more?
Rosen oncologist? Can you imagine Dr. Rosen's mother, who when she's around the Hadassah, her group of Yenta friends, and they're like, what does your son do? And she goes, he's an oncologist. They go, so impressive. Where does he practice? And she goes, not important. I'm telling you, she leaves out the animal part.
100%. 100%. So just like, thank you to everybody. You guys are the best, connecting us left and right. Shout out one more person, Evan Stupler. He has a practice called Your Vet. They're building a freaking square block hospital in New York. He has been unbelievable. We'll call him at any time. And just like going through this is so hard, but this community and then Theo fighting has made it a little bit easier. But that really was I'll probably have another What Are You Nuts later, but my What Are You Nuts is finding a 12-centimeter tumor in my dog's ass that also is like prohibiting his ability to walk and pee. Like what are you nuts? Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and I think I also had a good joke to you last week when you said you're on the way to the hospital for dogs, and I said, "Is it Hound Sinai?" But you guys are incredible animal parents. You love that dog so much, and I wouldn't actually. Unfortunately, whether it's humans or animals, this misdiagnosis does happen. I remember my buddy Eric. This was years ago. He's like not feeling good, can't really breathe, thinks he's got like some chest infection, sinus thing, but he doesn't feel good and he's just like really run down. So he goes to the doctor and they're like, you clearly have some kind of lung infection. So what's like the cocktail? A Z-Pack and some steroid. And he takes that for like 3 weeks and he's not getting better. And I remember I saw him about a week before, and I was like, Eric, you're looking pretty gray, bro. I was like, we were going to the movies. I'm like, you're shedding. I mean, this was a guy in his mid-50s, smoked, fat, criminal defense attorney, Jew, you know the type. And I was like, karma, and for defending all those fucking criminals. No, and he's just not looking good. And to a point where he was like, Josh, can I use your inhaler? And I was like, feel free, but this is not random. Like, you are not on a good train here, my boy. Needless to say, he finally sees a proper doctor who's like, you are and have been having a massive heart attack. Your widowmaker valve has ruptured and you've been walking for 3 weeks with a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Cut to, 12 hours later, chest cut open heart surgery. And the first doctor was like, I think a Z-Pack will do it. It's crazy.
Oh my God. That is crazy. Almost as crazy as the idea of sharing an inhaler. I'm sorry. I won't even share. Like, this is a me problem. I know that most people aren't like this. I won't share a bottle of water with my own mother and my own wife.
You wouldn't share a Coke with me at the Knicks game. Shout out the Knicks. Thanks for having us.
I'm not a drink sharer. I just don't like it. I don't like it. The idea of putting duck lips on somebody else's inhaler makes me want to kill myself. Like, I'd rather have the heart attack, die, than use that inhaler.
I don't want to peel back the curtain too much, but our lovely podcast company, Dear Media, said, there is potentially an allergy pill company who's interested in promoting on the podcast, to which I said, that might be the most natural sponsorship the good guys have ever had.
Number one. And what we're going to do is Josh and I are going to stop taking our allergy pills for a month. And then we're going to come on the podcast and we're going to talk like this. And then we're going to pop one and all of a sudden, sales through the roof. The roof.
I don't mean to, I think you'll understand where I'm coming from when I say this, but it is my What Are You Nuts moment. And I think I'd be remiss to say my What Are You Nuts moment of the week is dogs. Owning a dog is nuts because it's an agreement to be heartbroken in 1 to 18 years max.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by Article. Article is an incredible place to go and shop for furniture, sofas, chairs, really anything for your home. Article believes in delightful designs for every home, and thanks to their online-only model, they have some really delightful prices too. As you know, Claudia and I, we just moved, needed new furniture for the house. We have a second bedroom. Excuse me, it is what it is. And I wanted to get something amazing from Article for this second bedroom. So I browsed, I went through tables, chairs, couches. We ended up finding this amazing couch that I purchased on Article, still waiting for it to come. But the ordering process was amazing. I just placed it last week and it was just so seamless, so easy. I can't wait to receive it. If you go to article.com/goodguys, we're giving you $50 off your first purchase of 100 or more, which is a really great deal because there's so many affordable options at article.com. So many great options, great price, but really, really beautiful items. So I'd highly recommend going on article.com to just go in and look for yourself. You're going to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more if you go to article.com/goodguys. The discount will automatically be applied at checkout, so don't worry about using a code, article.com/goodguys for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Their curated assortment of mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandi, and boho designs make furniture shopping totally, totally simple. Amazing designs at article.com/goodguys. $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by KiwiCo. KiwiCo is the place to get not only like toys, gifts. That's not how I want you to think about this for your kids. It really is educational, wonderful, high quality items that you can get for your child, you can get for your nieces, your nephews. I get them for my nieces and nephews. I now have 4, and they are just everything to me. And KiwiCo allows me to get them just such fun, but also educational items. Again, you don't want them just watching TV. Like, you want them to really engage in stuff, and you want to get them the gift of inspiration and something that they love and something that they're going to be really excited about. Again, they come in crates. I've gotten this colorful chemistry set for my niece, and she absolutely loves it. The colors, it's just such like an amazing, amazing experience, and she absolutely loved it. And they have a subscription service. It's something that you can subscribe to, get surprised every month with all of these unbelievable gifts. And when you give KiwiCo, it's so much more than a box of toys. Like, that's what I want to stress. It's the gift of discovery through hands-on experiences, giving kids the tools to learn about topics that they love, from dinosaurs to rocket ships. I mentioned the chemistry set. Super, super cool. Sure, you can buy a robot, but isn't it way more fun to build a robot, create your own? KiwiCo crates are fun and stress-free, so you can enjoy quality time with your kids, tracking projects together. Tested and approved by kids. No crate leaves without the approval from their toughest critics, the kids. And if you want something that kids are going to love, then obviously kids need to give it their stamp of approval. Discover hands-on fun with KiwiCo. Get your first month free on any crate line at kiwico.com/goodguys. That's your first month free at kiwico.com/goodguys. kiwico.com/goodguys. You're right.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy. And it's funny. The cycle just continues because the only way to get over the heartbreak, and the only way to, honestly, they say this in senior dogs, they say this in sick dogs, is to get another dog, because the dog helps the dog, and then the dog also helps you. But you're just continuing the cycle. I was talking about this with Claudia, and it's like, I've never felt so horrendous in my whole life. Like, this has been the worst week of my life. Like, facts, and like completely earth-shatteringly heartbroken. And you're absolutely right. Like, and again, as a pet owner, is it totally worth it? Yeah, we love them endlessly, but the idea, like, people complain. They're like, again, we go to breeders. It is what it is. Okay.
Sure.
So if you have a problem with breeders, I'm sorry. That said,
listen, you know me, I'm against adoption for animals and people. I'm against it. I'll come out and say it. Leave them.
Leave them on the street.
So, you don't know what you're getting. It's crazy.
I'm
don't
sure
get me
my,
started. my, started. my, mom, 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 my, mom Shout out Ava.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need an exception to prove the rule, babe.
Should have been left on the street. No, it's good.
I'm kidding, you sick f***s. Don't clip this and put it on TikTok and come for me, you nuts. You idiots.
Clip it. Clip it. It's important. It's viral. But that said, we don't personally rescue. It's a lovely thing to do, etc. But these breeders, like, people complain about the cost of a dog, right? Oh, he was $3,000. Oh, it was this, it was that. Do you understand the amount of money it takes to save a dog? Insurance is not, like, to your point, you don't know how long they're going to live. I'm not getting insurance. Maybe that was on me. Maybe I should have gotten pet insurance. We don't have pet insurance. I don't know if it covers crazy, aggressive, random tumors anyways, but oh my God, forget just the emotional strain, the financial strain. There goes my Corolla. I could have had but the Range Rover that from gorgeous Jaguar
Brooklyn. Land Rover. This is no time for a plug, Ben. We're talking about your
But I could have had I could have had a Corolla. And instead I have a sick pooch. But you're right. What are you nuts is pet owning? You don't know what you're getting into. You get it the first couple of years. It's gorgeous. The whole time it's gorgeous. I'm letting everybody know who's been through this, who hasn't yet. It's earth-shattering. So prepare.
You guys are amazing parents. We love our Theo. Our thoughts and prayers. Baruch Hashem, Bizrat Hashem, and let that beautiful pooch be okay.
Thank you. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. How was yours?
My Thanksgiving was great. It was low key. It was easy. We did it at the in-laws' house. Shout out my mother-in-law, Stacy. She's an incredible cook. She knows how to throw a party. And it was like, the only sad part was that beautiful Barbara Peck, who was going to come and then was feeling a little under the weather. So she wound up just hanging out. And I went to pick her up and she was all done up. And she said, Josh, I don't know if I'm feeling up to it. And it was in one of those moments, God bless her, she's going to be 80, where I said, Mom, you relax. Can I go get you food? She's like, I'll order Chinese. They don't seem to observe holidays. It's fabulous. I said, I don't know who the they is, and I think that's positive racism, but I'm glad that you're going to be eating well on Thanksgiving.
What is her Chinese food order? Barb's at home, Thanksgiving alone. What's she chowing down on?
So God bless my mom, who I think wouldn't mind me saying that she's had her issues with food over the century and passed it along to her son and
passed it along to me by proxy.
And so growing up, look, if my mom had her druthers, she's getting spare ribs, beautiful, shrimp and lobster sauce, egg rolls, noodles. She's crushing, right? But 95% of the time growing up, this was us at a Chinese food restaurant. I'll have the chicken and broccoli, no sugar, no cornstarch.
It's so classic. It's so classic.
Anyone who's enjoyed wonderful Chinese food knows that cornstarch is what gives that sauce its beautiful, thick consistency and flavor. And so 9 out of 10 wonderful Chinese food restaurant waiters go, ma'am, that's not going to be possible. And she looks at them and goes, use oil and soy sauce. They know me. and then you just have a terrible dish. So
yeah, and the cornstarch kind of masks, just like, you don't want to see what the meat looks like bare. You don't want to see that. It's like shaving. If I were to shave Theo completely down to his skin, I'd be like, oh, whoa, who is that? What's going on? You don't want to see your sesame chicken without sauce. You don't want to see your broccoli in the brown sauce, no brown sauce. It's too scary. I don't want to know what it is.
What'd you do?
I mourned.
Yeah. Nothing, right?
No, I was supposed to go to Florida. I was supposed to see my parents. I was supposed to do all this stuff. And we ended up picking up Theo Wednesday night. Brought him home, and was just trying to figure out, how do we keep him comfortable? How do we get his pain meds right? How do we prep for, is it radiation? Is it surgery? So nothing. That said, I'm incredibly, and I thought about this, just like so thankful. And I wish I was this thankful before it happened. I was moderately thankful, but my life, knock on wood, even though that's Jesus, bite your lip, whatever the saying is.
What's not a Jesus thing?
I don't know. In everyday life, all that we say is Jesus things. All of them.
Knock on wood came from, they used to believe thousands of years ago that spirits lived in trees. And so that when things would turn out well, they would knock on wood or knock on the tree as a thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that you knocked wood because of the cross.
Maybe they co-opted it, but I don't
I
think
like
so.
yours. All right. Good. Spirits hiding in the trees. I'm going to knock on the bark. And they're gonna,
similarly is nuts, but I don't know if it has to do with JC.
I like that one, but regardless, my life was absolutely unbelievably perfect. Like, I couldn't ask for a better wife, a better family, better friends, better co-host, better pocket, better everything. Like all this like dumb, everybody has terrible things that go on a day-to-day basis. And when you get a really terrible thing, you realize none of those things are terrible. Your life is unbelievable. And you just wish that you could go back to yesterday. So on this post-Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving, I was just thinking, even without the bountiful meal and surrounded by family and all that stuff, like life, I don't want to speak for you, but I know your family and I know like your life is amazing. My life is amazing. Like, we're so blessed. And like, sure, we can spend our days thinking about everything that we can change and everything that we can fix and how things can get just fine tuning. And we can lose sight on the fact that the bulk of it is just freaking awesome. So, yeah, no meal, but a lot of thanks.
Do you find that you thrive in catastrophe or in situations like you were saying? Because I think I do. Do you?
I think I do. I think that I really, not to credit this to myself, but like, I do not huddle and cry and I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to do this? I run, like I figure out how to fix it. Like, if there's a problem, I'm going to fix it. And not every problem can be fixed in the traditional ways, right? But even if fixing is bringing comfort to somebody, if it's whatever it may be, like, I'm always going to be activated. Always.
Do you, I find for me, I have such like an, thankfully almost 16 years recovered alcoholic sensibility about me that I'm wound very tight throughout most things in my life. And because of this, when things really do hit the fan and they really do require an overreaction in theory because the stakes are so heightened,
yes,
I'm so good.
Yes.
I am your guy. Recently, last week, my son, my little guy, Shy, who just turned 1, had been sick for over a week. And, with kids, and especially his older brother comes from school, so he brings home stuff all the time. Kids are sick all the time. We've talked about it. And our pediatrician, who's the best, kind of says, like, here are the things to look out for, but they might not feel good for like a week and a half. And it's like, we can't rush to put them on medicine. Otherwise, we'll be putting them on medicine every month.
Yeah.
So finally, he needed medicine. So he's taking meds. And my older son, who's 5, and if there's any moron in the audience who's an antibiotic specialist, shout out. Because feel free to go in my DMs, because my older son has like a very severe antibiotic allergy, right? It's
really?
Like penicillin. Yeah, and it's super scary. And so we were apprehensive with our little guy, just like maybe he inherited that. He's never been on an antibiotic. What's it going to be? But he had a double ear infection. It was a whole shunda. Anyway, so he's on the meds. It's all good. One night, he goes to bed at like 6:45. And at like 8 p.m., he's crying. He's having a fit, like sobbing. Like, it doesn't sound like him. My wife runs over and goes like, "Are you hearing this?" And we go in, and he's in such a deep sleep that he's not really waking up, but he's crying. And I can see that she's worried that he's having an allergic reaction and like what's going to happen. Because sometimes it can show itself like days later, you know? And, you know, allergic reactions can be so scary and it can affect breathing. And my wife, who's like literally 99% of the time cool as a cucumber, is like, doesn't know what to do. Papa Josh comes over. I mean, I should have had a cape on because I said, hand me the child. Hand me this baby. And I'm looking at him and he's crying, right? Which is a good sign that he's breathing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's breathing. So, all right. So, you know, first things first, we're okay. And he's not really waking up, but I know that he's so exhausted and tired. He's probably in a deep sleep. And so I said, I got this. I go downstairs. I put on his favorite show. I go get a bottle of milk because he's a Peck, so he wants to eat no matter what time it is. And slowly but surely, he kind of wakes up and comes out of it. And who knows? The doctor said maybe his fever was breaking and he was having like a fever dream and kind of, you know, was out of it a little bit. But I felt so good because I'm like, this is how I live, ready for an emergency at all times, which is why I treat small infractions like it's the end of the world. Don't cut me off. But when shit really hits the fan, your boy is ready to go.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Drizzly. We love, love, love Drizzly. Alcohol ordering made easy. Drizzly.com is the absolute best. Whether it's your go-to favorite, like Spritz Society, or something new, Drizzly is here to help you find the right drink for the moment through its unmatched selection and helpful recommendations. From holiday cocktail staples, I like an old-fashioned, to new seasonal flavors, find all of your holiday drinks on Drizzly. Drizzly is the go-to app to get drinks delivered, especially during the holidays. Who wants to be in a store? Get it on Drizzly.com. Drizzly offers one of the widest selections of beer, wine, and spirits available. Shop curated gift guides, get recommendations from experts, and discover drinks for all your holiday festivities delivered to your door with Drizzly. Compare prices on drinks from local stores to save time and money when shopping. I always use Drizzly. Again, who wants to go out, especially in the middle of winter? It's so cold. Today in New York, it's snowing. What are you, nuts? Who wants to go outside and go to the store to get a bottle of wine or a 4-pack of Spritz Society or a bottle of vodka? Who wants to do that? You don't want to do that. Go on your phone, type in exactly what you're looking for, and get it delivered. It's so easy. It's my absolute go-to. The other night, I wanted a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. I went on Drizzly. I wanted Oyster Bay. Looked up Oyster Bay, found it. And again, you can look between the stores what's going to have the best price. So you're not locked into a price. You can look between the different local stores, pick the price that you want on Drizzly.com. It's really, really amazing. Or on the app. So download the Drizzly app or go to Drizzly.com. It's the go-to delivery app for alcohol delivery. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations, sorry to say. Drizzly, the absolute easiest way to order anything for the holidays, any alcohol. Bullet Bourbon, Don Julio Repo. Who doesn't love a Don Julio Reposado? Kettle One. So easy. Get them all on Drizzly. Get them all on Drizzly. One-stop shop, super easily. Download the app or go to Drizzly.com. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Element. Judging by my voice, I don't know if you can hear it, a little bit raspy. I'm a little bit sick. It is what it is. And when you're sick, you need extra hydration. And that's where Element comes in. Absolutely love Element for anybody that needs to stay hydrated. And when you're sick, it's the number one thing that you need. Stay hydrated. That's why they say chicken soup. Who needs chicken soup? Move over and get some Element. Without the sugary and other dodgy ingredients found in other popular electrolyte and sports drinks, Element is clearly the way to go. It's great for electrolyte deficiencies as well, or imbalances, as they can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, weakness. So if you have any of these things, you really need to get hydrated. Hydration is the number one way to alleviate any of those symptoms. Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3x government recommendations. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, and other dodgy ingredients. Element is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration, which is everything. and is perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, or those who are following keto, low carb, whole foods, or paleo diets. There are U.S. Olympians that are drinking this product, including the entire USA weightlifting team. Professional athletes in the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, around 30% of the NFL is drinking Element. So you know that Element is right for us if it's right for the athletes, obviously. So if you want to try Element, and how could you not want to try Element? You want to go to drinkelement.com/goodguys, and you're going to receive a free Element sample pack with any order when you purchase through our URL. That's drinklmnt.com/goodguys, and you're going to receive a free Element sample pack with any order when you purchase through our URL. And you can try Element totally risk-free. No questions asked on refunds. If you don't like it, give it to somebody else and they'll give you your money back. No questions asked. They have a very, very low return rate and a very high reorder rate. Really nothing to lose here. Go to drinkelement.com/goodguys. That's drinklmnt.com/goodguys. Ready to go. Well, I hope he's feeling better. That's very scary. And I didn't even know. I've never thought of being allergic to antibiotics. I wonder, like, sure, it seems very scary, but I wonder if, like, long-term, God willing, he's, like, just healthier and better. Like, I don't know. Like, is there, like, do you have to, like, look into holistic remedies for, like, problems that we'd normally just, again, like, you have something, you take penicillin? Like, what do you do?
Oh, I love talking about this stuff. So there are other, first you can grow out of an antibiotic allergy.
Okay.
Secondly, there are other forms of antibiotics that aren't as used because they're either not as effective or they have more side effects and whatnot. So that we haven't even touched yet because we haven't needed to. But the thing about kids is they get ear infections. You ever wonder why kids get them, but adults really don't?
Sure. Yeah.
Because kids' sinuses don't drain into their nose. So adults get sinus infections.
Yes.
Kids, they have kind of like these horizontal sinuses until they get to 4, 5, 6. So fluid just sits in their ear and it gets infected. So what do? You get your kid the tube surgery. You know this? You know these tubes?
Yes.
This is a gorgeous surgery. God forbid. I hope you parents out there never have to do it. But if you do, go see my gal. She's the best. And I get a 10% referral. I'm kidding. I should.
It's Josh. Josh performs the surgery.
It's amazing.
You need the tubes. You come. My garage. Quick.
It's
10
beautiful.
grand. Easy.
Do it with a Groupon. And they get these it's like literally like a microscopic thread that gets put in their eardrum to keep it open. And basically it's a 10-minute surgery. They have to put your kid out, which is the only scary part because they're not going to sit still. And it allows their ear to drain all the time.
Wow.
So fluid never gets stuck in there. I mean, my kid had it at 2 and knock wood has not had an ear infection in 3 years when he used to get one every 2 months.
That's amazing.
Crazy,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
You think we'd evolve a little bit?
Totally.
You think God would have thought of this?
I was just thinking that. Like, why hasn't that evolved? Like, that's obviously not a Max problem. That's a child problem. Like,
Right.
kids get ear infections. I remember getting ear infections. They stink. And it's funny, I never thought of why don't I get ear infections anymore and why do I have chronic sinusitis?
Judaism.
fully Judaism. I will say, and I know that like we're talking a lot about health, but I'll just continue to share. I had terrible sinusitis for a lot of my adult life, and I will say that foods do play a large factor. And when I was significantly fatter, I got way more sinus infections. Way more. It's not even close.
Look, the doctor has never once said in their life for anything that's ailed anyone, maybe put on 40 pounds and it'll go away.
Yeah, totally. Except for getting shot.
That would be good.
That would be good.
Speaking of Judaism, I don't know if you saw our friend Kanye West recently, but he's out just being, anti-Semitic in Saudi Arabia. And my favorite part is that Kanye's looking a little bloated. And I just want to say, apparently, anti-Semitism's not good for your metabolism because I just love, and you know Kanye's vain. He doesn't like having a little extra weight, and I want to be like, you know, Kanye, maybe it's karmic. You know what I mean? Enjoy.
It's so funny. I didn't see. Tell me what he did with Saudi Arabia, because all I saw was him shaking Chef Nobu's hand in Malibu. Chef Nobu posted that Kanye was just in his restaurant, probably eating entirely too much tuna. That's why he's bloated. That's why he's bloated, right? The mercury's poison. He's bloated.
Could be.
And I would highly recommend Ozempic.
It's like when I go back and I look at friends that I grew up with and I see their Facebook and they were like these Adonises at 15 where I literally look like the size of a small SUV. And now they've just, and now they're like 38. They're these big fat bastards.
I had never thought about it. It must be incredibly difficult to get fat for the first time late in life. You don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, none of my clothes fit. I can't breathe. What am I doing? How do I lose weight? Versus if you're fat early, you're prepared. You're prepared early for what's inevitable and what's to come. Yeah, those kids in high school, perfect physique. Sorry, you're in for a rude awakening, bub.
They didn't earn it. But I would ask you, because I've seen pictures of you. I think the youngest is when you first started dating our wonderful Queen Turdy Lou, and you're built like a Jewish Clydesdale. I mean, you are stunning and svelte. So for you, I feel like you grew up pretty lean and mean.
No, so I was fat. So I was skinny until 11. At 11, I discovered Russian dressing and how much I liked putting it on my pasta. And from there, I just developed an absolute love for sauces and everything food. My dad's a caterer. It was super easy. Similar to Barb, my parents, not exactly the most fit. But both really skinny now. But then just similar, like eating patterns, etc. Started to really balloon, but in most of high school, I was 280, 290.
Wow.
I was a big boy, and I only literally that year that I met Claudia, the year before. God, this whole episode is about surgery and about health. But I had my neck surgery, which we've spoken about before, and I recovered. But like in recovery, I lost a ton of weight because I wasn't eating. I was nauseous all the time. I ended up losing about 50 pounds, and I came out of that 210. And in my whole life, 210 for me, just so everybody knows, again, it's different for everybody's bodies. 210 for me, I was a size 33 gene. Like that is a small gene for a pretty broad, big guy. Like Claudia will say I'm maybe 6 foot, 6'1", maybe 6'2". Big guy. 210 was tiny, but I've spent most of my life at that 280, 290. Most of my adult life, I'm currently 244. And the right weight for me is that 230. But no, I'm a porker.
I don't know, but you don't have BBE, baby. You don't have that big boy energy. Like you walk around.
How? I don't really. You're saying the depression that comes from being a big boy?
I just think like people that were thin most of their life and then they put on weight, to your point, I like those guys because they're like, yeah, I've got a belly, I drink too much beer or whatever. But there's just like a skinny stud energy to them. Whereas me, I've got like a child star, no father energy of like people pleasing, shtick master, enough is never enough. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's amazing. I can't really imagine you. I don't know. I'll send
you pictures. And I understand what you're saying though, and that's interesting. That just means that my, I guess like I hold my insecurities well. But I've definitely like confidence is at an all-time high. I mean, I'm like an absolute just like celebrity.
Yeah, you're insufferable.
It is
you're
what
insufferable.
It is what it is. So I've really, like, I shallow howled myself. Like, I am Jack Black, and I am the girl that he likes. So I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, God damn it, you look fantastic. And And I think that's why maybe I don't walk around like, but also the underwear. We spoke about this.
Sure, you need a trick.
I'm saying, are you comfortable with me sharing that we both do this or no?
Comfortable? The morons are family. Let it out.
Okay, so I'm just saying, me and Josh basically wear girdles. Even though Josh doesn't need a girdle. Josh is like washboard abs. I couldn't believe it, but he wears his underwear at his hips like me because you want to sort of hide this like bit of like a fupa area, the little lower hang of the belly. Like you want to hide it. You claim that it's for comfort. It's not. It's out of habit. But I'm letting you know right now, you could wear a Speedo and you'd look fantastic.
I love you. Thank you. Speedos would be fine, but no girdle helps gynecomastia. Shout out if there's any plastic surgeon listening. Male breasts are a real thing.
What about the nipples? It's the breasts are one thing. It's the nipples, fat nipples. Unless you've been this type of fat, and I think you were the mushy fat, your nipples aren't the same. Your nipples don't get aggressively hard. Like I would look at, there's like a fat guy that's really compact. And I was always jealous of this type of fat where like you punch his belly and it's like a rock. And you look at his nipples and they're crystallized versus the real juicy fat where like, again, you're on an island, it's lost. You're putting a pole right up his ass and you're turning him like a turkey because he's so luscious and juicy. But these nipples... soft.
Your nipple goes from like those small crispy peps from Prince Street Pizza, right? Small, agile, to like a soprasetta, like like a thin piece of bruschetta, but long and stretched. I, who have had a little bit of plastic surgery 15 years ago when I lost all my weight, they did a little bit of surgery on the chest, didn't help, and around the nipple area, which was fine. I don't really have any feeling in my nips now, which is fine, but I have been with women in the past who've tried to like, entice them, to which I want to be like, honey, move on. Like, you know what I mean? All I can feel is heat.
Oh, man. Wow. So I'm going to give you a titty twister the next time I see you because it's fine.
It'll be nothing for me. I will stare you straight in the eyes and feel nothing.
That's crazy. My nipples are unbelievably sensitive. Just like...
Gross. I can't. Oh my God. We're getting so close. More. The people want to hear more.
Oh my God. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Earnin. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you can earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. I personally don't need a product like this, but if I did, this would be absolutely the best option out there. The ability to access money that you earn, money that you know that like you're going to need early. It's an absolute no-brainer, and I would absolutely use this product. So make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. In case you're in a crunch and you need that money is yours, and Earnin's helping you use it earlier. So download Earnin today, EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in Good Guys under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Good Guys under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. This episode of The Good Guys is brought to you by Etsy. Good Guys listeners, it's the holiday season. So I want to talk to you about Etsy. If you're like me, you're on a mission to find handcrafted, affordable gifts made by independent sellers. Well, whether you're searching for custom home pieces like cutting boards, linens, and throw pillows for your favorite holiday hosts, or personal items like purses, necklaces, and seasonal jackets for your most stylish friends and family, Etsy has it. We're doing Secret Santa this year, and I don't yet know exactly what I want. I've been going on Etsy looking for inspiration. Now, I can't tell you who in the family I have for Secret Santa, but she is incredibly lucky, and she will love what I get her on Etsy. Whether you need something for the home chef in your life, like serveware or cookware, or style pieces like rings, clutches, and seasonal jackets for that trend-setting special someone, Etsy has it for all budgets and any gifting mission. Are you new to Etsy? Use the code HOLIDAY10 for 10% off your first purchase. That's HOLIDAY 10. Holiday 10 for your first purchase. Maximum discount valued at $50. Expires December 31st, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. For handcrafted and affordable gifts for everyone on your list, Etsy has it. Shop Etsy.com.
I don't know, man. That would like if I if I was chilling with some friends drinking some O'Douls and they were like, you know what really gets me off? A little fucking nipple play. I'd be like, oh yeah, your girl likes that. I'd be like, nah, I'm me, bro. I'd be like, Rob, we can't be friends.
That's what I'm gonna miss most about Theo. He'd always lick my nipples, and
God bless him. I was, I there are a couple of things. I just write things down throughout the week that I think about. And speaking of dogs, the ASPCA, a wonderful animal charity, God love them, and there's that famous Sarah McLachlan song that is on all the commercials.
In the arms of the angels, fly away from here.
It's so good.
So depressing. It's such a good song, but the ASPCA ruined it for her.
They totally, not only did they ruin it, but I wonder, because she didn't charge the ASPCA for it, because who would do that? You think after a couple decades, Sarah McLachlan goes, I should, that's a lot of residuals.
Do you think that she handed over that? Do you think she handed over that song royalty free forever?
I don't know, but they're juicing it. She has a resentment against them. She's like, how many commercials? I said once.
You've been using it for 2 decades.
I agreed in 1996. Like, it's enough. Get a new song. Call Katy Perry. She likes dogs, no?
Get a new song. Totally. They've been using that same song. I do wonder. Now, we need Sarah McLachlan on the show. We need her on. I need to understand, is she making money from the ASPCA or not? Because if she isn't, she needs to make money.
I agree. I think these sick dogs need to pull their weight. And here's another thing that I've been noticing. I want flight attendants to start saying what they mean. Okay? When you get on a plane and it's a third full and they get on the speaker and they go, we have a completely full flight today, guys. Just say what you mean. That my bag is about to get gate checked and I'm never going to see that bag again. Nope. Like, just say it.
Yep.
Right? We have a completely full flight. Oh, dude, like you didn't prepare for the fact that all the seats are taken and there's not enough bag room.
When do you board? Are you an early boarder, or are you I know that the plane's still going to be there at 25 minutes before. I'm going to go to get a snack, go to the bathroom, play with my nipples, come back.
I'm a early boarder. I'm a total TikTok dad at the airport, as far as like, I don't get there super early, but like I got to get eyes on my gate, because I want to know that there wasn't like any last minute change. I mean, I've been in those situations where I was recently at O'Hare, where I was like sprinting to my gate because I was like, oh, I'll go to the lounge. It's not a big deal. And didn't realize it was like a 25-minute walk from the lounge.
Damn.
So I like to just know where I'm going. Usually your boy's up front. So sorry. and, and I get on first. It's very civilized. I want to set up. I got to get, I don't disinfect the seat and whatnot, but I got to get my headphones out, put my book, my laptop, and then I'm good.
Yeah, it's funny. Until you start to really fly often, sure, you can be a bit cavalier about the process. Like, I've always been like that in my whole life. Like, I'm going to show up, like, late. I'm going to make it, no problem. But you get your bag gate checked once that shouldn't have been gate checked. You have these, like, little inconveniences, and all of a sudden you just realize it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Get there early, and then most of your problems completely go away. Most of your problems go away. I also, as a person, I was like, I don't need TSA pre-check. What do I need pre-check for? I have Clear.
Nuts.
I'm letting you all know, only a person with Clear would say that. Because once you have TSA pre-check, you're like, this is living. This is living. You don't want to take off your shoes. You don't remember what it's like to fly pre 9/11 before we had to do all this hokey pokey, hocus pocus. But it clearly was not like this. We're herded like animals. You look in the old movies, they're flying. It's like they're on a gorgeous, the food, the smoking. My God, the smoking. I think that was a little bit before 9/11, way before 9/11. That said, flights, travel, it used to be a luxury. This was a luxury. The same way that trains were luxuries. You look, again, I can only talk about old movies, but it looks gorgeous. Now, we're so stressed, we're so crammed, you have to get to the airport early, and you have to take advantages of the little tricks like the TSA, like the Clear. These things are like $100, folks, for like 5 years. Money is not a problem. If you can travel once, you can get TSA pre-check. All of a sudden, this turned into an ad for TSA pre-check, but it really is that important.
It's good stuff. Clear is like when a famous designer does a collab. Like it's like when Kanye worked with Gap. It's like, is it cool? If I can get a sweater for $30, maybe it's not that special. But everybody's got Clear. Pre-check takes a little bit of legwork, and it's worth every penny. And I'm telling, like, as someone who has to travel a lot for work, shout out University of Pittsburgh. I'm going to be there on Thursday. I can't wait.
What's their team name?
I don't know.
I was going to say Go Dogs, but I don't think they're the Dogs. I'll look it up. Continue.
Please look it up. I shout out Pitt. Love you. I've done a lot of schools in Pittsburgh, and I love every one of them. And basically, like, I know that with TSA pre-check, I'm going to go right through security. It's going to take 4 minutes. Then I'm going to go to the lounge. I'm going to sleep on my flight. I'm going to go Hertz Gold member, not Presidential Circle. It kills me, but I don't qualify yet. I'm going to get right into my car. No desk, no talking. Give me the keys. I got to go check in at my Marriott Bonvoy. I'm going to get my room pre-checked in, and it's just a nicer way to live. And it really doesn't cost me any more money. I mean, like you said, $80 for pre-check for 5 years. You just got to be smart about these things.
Yep. The Panthers, by the way. The Pittsburgh Panthers. Lovely
You were
alliteration.
far.
Lovely alliteration. I was. Just because, like, go Dogs. What do you say? Go Pants? Go Pants?
Go-
Stinks.
Go Pants.
Go Pants. It stinks. And the last one, which I'm sure you have, global entry. If you've ever been out of the country and you've ever been on a 4-hour line going through customs, global entry, if global entry was $1 million, it's the most worth it thing ever.
It's stunning. And with that, I think, should we get to a speak pipe or two before we're done?
I would love to give some horrendous advice to a lovely moron.
I would too. And I got to say, I had a person who sent us a recent one that was so juicy, and they left their email that I reached out to them over email to come on the pod.
Oh.
And they have not responded, but it is a follow-up and it's good. So shout out. They have not listed their name. I doubt they want to list their name. So I'm just going to play it here.
Hey guys, I don't think you've ever done an update on an advice segment, so I'm here to give one to you. I know Jax and Quad love an update if they do a Dear Toasters. So I thought you guys might be interested because I am the one who did the speak pipe. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And you guys had Jen and Pumps on the pod. And I wrote in about my friend's husband not sharing his location. So things came to a head. And she decided to somehow get into his phone. Not really sure how that worked, but this man was living a double life, 100%. It was her husband, and he had a full-on fiance and a child with his fiance, even though he's already married. Whoa. So to quote Ben, I believe he called in like a scumbag, cheater, loser, all of the above. Yeah, our suspicions were all right. And I just wanted you guys to know I thought you'd find it interesting and funny.
Holy smokes.
Right?
I was prepared for all of that except being with child. Like,
right.
Like, I also, in no way, shape, or form do I want to victim blame here. But how
do it?
How long has this been going on? Like, how do you not know that your husband has a fiance and a kid? Like, unless the guy is just a total scumbag all around, which he clearly is. It's just like, so you got a woman pregnant, took her through the pregnancy, she gave birth, is your fiance, and you have a wife on the side? That's nuts.
It's nuts. I mean, obviously this guy is the villain here. He's despicable and unacceptable, and we're not blaming anyone, but it is quite unbelievable that someone, obviously cheaters be cheating, but for someone to be engaged and to have a baby, I mean, at no point did that guy come home to his current wife and she goes, "How was your day, honey?" And he goes, "It's a boy. I mean, it's a joy." You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and I guess that it's easy for us in wonderful monogamous happy marriages to like say this, or at least it's easy for me to say this, I mean, from my side of the fence. But if you have an inkling that they're cheating, don't ignore it. Don't pretend everything is okay. Trust your gut. Your gut is right. And there's no way that this woman's gut over the last 5 years hasn't been firing like crazy. Like if he's been cheating for long enough that he has a child with that woman, like you must have gotten a feeling, again, not victim blaming, just saying you must have gotten a feeling at some point over the last couple of years that this was happening. And maybe he's just a terrible guy, and you didn't feel comfortable confronting him. But like to anybody else going through something similar, confront the shit out of that person. Confront them. Like like you will never ever be upset. Again, don't be like that neurotic, poking for nothing. But this is not nothing. You know this is something. When something's something, it's something. Put that on a t-shirt. When something's something, it's something.
And if we're looking for a silver lining, CIA hire this man because he is a fucking Svengali. What a trick deck this guy is, a master of lies.
Unbelievable. I heard he just started working for Hamas.
I know. And good for him.
Yes, it's a great job.
Okay, ready? And here we go.
Okay, so I'm an avid listener, obviously, and I know that you guys have said that you are not TripAdvisor or whatever, but I'm going to ask anyway. I am visiting New York in December.
This one sucks. It sucks. It's not good, honey. You know us, and we're not changing for you. We're not TripAdvisor.
No, we're not. I'm not recommending shit. Nothing. Go on Google. Google it. Stand in line and wait because you're not famous like us.
we should do an app. Should we do the Good Guys app about like our favorite places in major cities?
Yeah, for $99 a month, I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I love it. I'm in. Totally in. You know what I was actually thinking? You're gonna fucking love this. You ready? This is genius, and we're doing it. We're creating the new Michelin.
Wow.
It'll be
that.
it'll be called like the good or something. Like places we love to eat and we give it stars. I'm just saying Brian Kelly did it with the Points Guy. It was at one point JD Power and Associates, and now it's the Points Guy rated because it needed a facelift. Michelin started out as a tire company, then there was some fat ghost as a mascot, and all of a sudden it's the #1 rater of top restaurants. Why can't it be the Good Guys?
Yeah, a 3.5 out of 4. Oy vey's. No,
Yes.
I don't know. Yes.
It's good, right? I think it's good.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna steal it. Damn it, you can't. Because it's
No,
us.
they can't, because they don't have they don't have, look, at the end of the day, they don't have the power of this.
This.
This is a movement, what's happening
Yes.
here. Okay.
Yes.
And we need a slogan for our movement, right? And we're in Manhattan, right? So why don't we say from river to river, the good the good guys will be free.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Everything is free except our app.
No more speak pipe. On that note, let's end the pod. What a way to end things.
So good. Guys, thank you for buying the merch. I'm wearing the beautiful orange and white hat. You guys surprised us. We were not sure what was going to be the top seller, but that orange and white t-shirt, it's amazing. It's a full color on the back. It's the coffee cup. This New York City collection we mentioned, we spent so much time putting it together. We won't be doing that for the next one. The next one, we're going to go logos. We're going to go slogans.
We're mailing it in.
We're going to go just like general stuff, but we spent so much time on this. We love it. We love wearing it. I wear it all the time. And I'm just so excited that so many of you, we had such an amazing first merch drop that so many of you bought the merch. I can't wait to see you in the merch. So when you do get your merch, please take a picture, post it, tag us. We love that. And thank you again for always supporting the podcast. We're going to be doing a lot more merch. So send us, what would you like? A lot of people said, Josh, they wanted the logo on a t-shirt. They wanted What Are You Nuts on a t-shirt. Of course, these are basic. But that's fine. Basic is good. What's wrong with basic?
Basic's good.
Basic's good. So we'll come out with the Good Guys UGG. Imagine that, a nice Good Guys UGG, a furry.
Good Guys girdles, Triple G.
Love it, Triple G. That's great. Good Guys girdles. Love it.
I love it.
So yeah, thank you for buying merch. And that's our show, as always. 5 stars. Unbelievable. If you don't think it's 5 stars, what are you, nuts? Josh is wearing his gorgeous sweater. That's 5 stars. My fuzzy socks, 5 stars. This podcast, 5 stars. The experience is premium. Listen wherever you listen to your podcast. Watch us on YouTube. Recommend to a friend. Because if you don't, what are you, nuts?
And if you want to give us a speak pipe, speakpipe.com/goodguys. Shout out Ralph Lauren, a.k.a. Ralph Lifshitz.